how do you still respect somebody and show love for the people that brought you to where you are, while also living in your own truth, which may go against theirs?
Mm-hmm.
And advice that I want to give to the people out there is stop living for other people and stop living for dead people too.
Ooh.
Because you may have people that have passed on and you want to do nothing but carry on their legacy. You want to make them proud. But if they truly loved you, then they would want you to live your own life and not live the life that they want you to live.
Welcome to another edition of the Black and Abundant podcast, where we talk all things personal development and how to elevate your life in many areas of your life. I am your host, Jamal, aka J-Sco, the producer, and I have right beside me my goddess, my queen, my beautiful, the most amazing fiance. Show that thing, baby.
My ring came back.
Nia, aka by Nia Love. What's up, baby?
Nothing much. Just sipping on my tea. You know, if you, I've just now discovered the Yogi brand, but this, I think it's called Perfect Energy Vanilla Spice. It hit different. It hit so different. So you should go get that and put it in your Black and Abundant mug, which you can find on lovethehopedealer.com, along with some merch. We got some like sweatshirts made, t-shirts, hat. So we got Black and Abundant merch now.
It's up. It's up. Let's get it. So if you got your mug, raise it up one time. Let's toast real quick. Shout out to Black and Abundance. Toast it up.
So how's your weekend, baby?
Man, so far my week has been, it's been great. It's been great. My weeks are always great, man, just because of my perspective. You already know what it is for me. I love it. I love the smoke that we're in. We're in a very entrepreneurial, endeavorous, balls to the wall, back to the wall, you know what I'm saying, phase of life. And we was talking about this the other day in the car ride, like, or last night, just how the journey, like, there's going to be a point in time when we look back like, damn, you remember that time we were just like at it every day?
Yep.
And then there's going to be a moment in time when we arrive. But I appreciate this moment in time because it's adventurous. It may be kind of scary at some points, but it's very adventurous. But it makes life so fun, and it's more even funner. I don't know if that's a word. When you get to do this shit with your fiance, every day,
you can do it with the love of your life. That's different.
For sure. What about you, my goddess? What's up?
I just wanted to talk about that for a little second because one thing that you said, which was very key, is you have to figure out how you want to live your life. And that's the biggest reason why we got into entrepreneurship in the first place, is because we want to live. We want our lives to be more than just going to work. Mm-hmm. We don't want to miss raising our kids. I want to talk about this for a second and just kind of put this into perspective. When I was working at my construction job right out of college, there was a coworker that I had that was like pregnant. And I mean like pregnant. She literally worked until she was about to pop. And then she disappeared for 2 months. And then she comes back and only 2 months had passed. And I was looking at her and she looked so tired, like exhausted. And I was talking to her. I was like, wait, didn't you just have like a baby? And she was like, yeah, you know, he's still keeping me up at night. He's still trying to adjust to his sleeping schedule and stuff like that. But in my head, I was thinking, you have a 2-month-old at home? 2-month-old. And if you're here, I bet your husband's at work too. So who's watching the baby right now? Maternity leave is not that long. Not long enough. I really think that the first 4 years until your baby goes off into school, I think those are vitally important for both parents to be at home, because those are huge learning periods for your child. And a job's not going to allow us to do that. A job's not going to allow us to be full-time Beyonce's like we are now. A job wasn't going to give us the life that we wanted. And one thing that we had to accept is that the reality is we only have one life. So are we going to give half of our life to a company, to our coworkers, to our bosses? Or are we going to take that half back and actually live? And it's more than just time too, it's resources, it's money. If we're always stressed about money, how can we truly live? If we don't have more than enough, how can we afford experiencing the world, experiencing different people, different circumstances, different adventures? How can we do that if we don't have the means to do that? And like we talked about, inflation is going to keep going up and your paycheck going to stay the same. So that means that as inflation goes up, that's less experiences that you get to have. That's less experiences that you can afford. So, segueing into that, I just want to talk about death and how it's been, I don't know, it's kind of been in our, just around us, you know, with the death of your grandparents. And when we were in church on Sunday, the pastor was talking about the death of her. We were celebrating the death of her husband. So I just want to talk about how that's just, what are your thoughts? Like, how are you coming to peace with that? How was the grieving process? Just roll with it.
Now that I had my experiences with losing close to ones, as you all can see right here, every day, where I do my best every day to wear this. I have not only the aunt, which symbolizes life, but I have my grandfather and grandmother, which I pretty much call them my parents.
Yeah.
You know, here's their wedding rings. And I keep that on them because, you know, they were very instrumental, pivotal, crucial in who I am today as a man. And losing them within a 3-month time span, yeah, it was one of the most life challenging things that I had to go through. But through that, I was able to build a new relationship with death and this concept of death. Whereas what people typically do, they don't bounce back from losing loved ones. They look at it as they lose a part of them because you know your identity is attached to these pivotal relationships in your life. And that's why people don't really truly shake back. But I understood that, like, they served a purpose in my life, you know, and I have my own identity outside of them. And at the end of the day, the best thing that I can do is be the best man that I can be for myself. And I know that they will be happy and have peace in knowing that going forward with my life that I'm going to be okay because what they instilled in me is forever a part of a piece of me. You know, they have a very special place in my heart. And to add on to that, when it comes to death, I now understand that it's just a natural part of life. It's natural. And when you accept that it's just a natural part of this circle of life thing, you have to let go of trying to have control and hold on to this concept of like just death when it comes to people that you love. You got to let that go because if you don't, you're going to lose yourself too as well. So that encouraged me to change my perspective and have more of an appreciation of life and make sure that you love on the people that you love truly every single day and maximize on those moments and experiences so that when they do part ways, you're at peace with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So now I guess I say all that to say, like, when it comes to death, I let go of the control I have on because I have a newfound respect and appreciation for it. It's a natural part of life. You cannot avoid it.
Yeah.
So.
And one thing that I've learned with the death of Jamal's grandparents is that energy does nothing but transfer. I really thought that this grieving process was going to be worse than what it is, but I think that our understanding is what makes it easier. Not saying that grief is easy by any means. No matter who you are, it's never easy to lose the people that you love.
Right.
But when your understanding is different, then it almost brings you peace with what's really going on. I remember I was having a conversation with someone a couple years ago, and I was talking about my dog May, because the reality is that she's getting older, and that's been my best friend for the past 10 years. But the reality is that she's getting older, and my other dog, I had another Yorkie, he just passed literally the day after my birthday, last month. And I didn't think that he was ever going to die, you know? So that, not comparing dogs to like humans, but just saying when you love someone or you love something so much, it hits you in a different way. But I want to talk about what happened after Pops' funeral. So I could tell, when was the funeral? It was April?
Yeah, April. Yeah.
It was April, sometime in April. So I could tell that Jamal was stressed. I could tell that he hadn't fully allowed himself the space to grieve, and that's because he was handling funeral arrangements, trying to coordinate everything with his family, which is stressful enough, trying to divvy up how this money is going to work. The whole financial piece of death is just atrocious. Like, make sure, and it's just a sidebar, make sure
Let him know
that you have a will in place and that you've already set your family up for success after you die.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're leaving your family with nothing but debt, or you did not establish officially who gets what, especially if you have multiple children,
talk about
it's going to divide your family.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that be dividing relationships, the number one thing that be dividing relationships is money.
Money.
So set your family up for success by going ahead and doing that before you pass.
Mm-hmm.
Just sidebar.
Yep.
But one thing that I did for Jamal is that I rented out this cabin, like in the middle of nowhere in Alabama. And we went off for like a day and a half in the middle of the woods in this cabin. And we just allowed ourselves a space to grieve. And we talked about this in the past couple episodes, but we tripped on mushrooms when we were there. And babe, can you tell them about your experience?
For sure. Most definitely. And great nuggets, by the way. That's very important. Like, make sure y'all establish your will so that going forward, that with your family dynamics, it's nothing but love, because money can ruin relationships. Very important.
It's not easy right now.
Yeah. And we're doing the necessary right now to make sure that never happens again with our family.
Yeah.
That would never happen going forward. But yeah, we tripped. And we tripped. And on that trip allowed me to release a lot of pent up emotions that I had. And it just opened me wide open to just let it all out. And, you know, that started my official process of, like, grieving, because I was putting on the face of, like, just got to be strong for the family. You got to handle business and all those different things, man. So it's easy to, like, push that to the back and not see it as important. But what I did during that trip, I let it all out. But also, man, let me tell you how wild this man is. You know, even though he's not here, his spirit is still with me. You know, heavy.
Energy transfers.
Yeah, his energy is always there. And during that trip, man, his energy was so heavy. I'm like, bro, what you want, man? Golly. But during that trip, man, it's like I had a dream. But the dream was, like, so vivid.
Yeah.
It was like he was there. Not like asleep, but it's like I had a vision.
Yeah.
Like I left my body or something, and I went and saw him.
Yeah.
And in this vision, and it was in a jacuzzi tub, right? And you was there, and it's like I had closed my eyes for a second, but I like left my body in a sense. I know that sounds weird, but in this moment, I saw him, and it's like I just felt his energy so heavy. It was so crazy, and I was not trying to do this on a podcast. Y'all ain't gonna get me. But it's still, as you can see, it's that moment still like it affects me today. But what he said is, stand up and be a man just like I taught you. And that's all he said. And I snapped out of the vision and came back. And I just like lost it in regards to just the grieving, just crying and like releasing all that stuff. And that right there was a game changer for me. And what I took from that, he's like, he understands I'm going to be my own man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not my job to follow in his footsteps or try to be like him in some way, shape, or form, but never forget the principles and the things that I taught you.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Jackson, what you do and everything that you do, remember what I taught you. You're going to always stand up and be a man, just like I taught you and how I raised you. And I said, okay, bet. I'm not going to let you down. And like ever since then, like it's just that energy and just me and him, even though he's not here physically, he's still with me spiritually and energy in my heart every single day. And every day I wake up, I keep that in me every single day. And that's how I'm going to continue on his legacy through me, by being my own man and reminding myself daily, like everything that you do, stand up and be a man just like how I taught you. So yeah.
Jamal used to struggle heavy with living in his own identity and paving his own way as a man. And I feel like that's where a lot of our initial relationship problems came in, is because he struggled with trying to be the man that everybody wanted him to be, rather than being the man that he is and paving his own way. And when you respect someone so heavy, like he did his grandfather, you want to do nothing but make them proud. But we actually tripped a few weeks ago, and Jamal was battling with this: how do you still respect somebody and show love for the people that brought you to where you are, while also living in your own truth, which may go against theirs?
Mm-hmm.
And advice that I want to give to the people out there is, stop living for other people and stop living for dead people too.
Ooh.
Because you may have people that have passed on and you want to do nothing but carry on their legacy. You want to make them proud. But if they truly loved you, then they would want you to live your own life and not live the life that they want you to live.
Yo, to all of my Black business owners out there, if you have a product that you would like to be featured on the show, reach out to us at blackandabundantpodcast@gmail.com. Now let's get back into the episode.
One way that I want to make sure that we are loving our kids is from a place of, you don't have to live life the way that we live life. I'm bringing you through this portal. We're bringing you through this portal and into this experience as guides. We're here to guide you through this human experience and instill values and principles within you, not to make your decisions, not to create your life for you. And I think that's something, this is just a sidebar as to like ways that you should live your life, because life and death go hand in hand, right? You want to make sure that you're making the most of this life experience before you get to your final day. But you have to learn how to not live for other people and to not put limits on your life. One thing that I truly believe, whether you're religious or spiritual or whatever, but I think this is a universal concept, is that we were sent here to love and to experience as much as we can as humans during this lifetime. Our souls came here to love and to experience.
Mm-hmm.
They came here to learn
And create.
So you are doing your soul a disservice if you are not living life to the fullest. And the fullest may look different for everybody. You have to define what that is for you. This is your human experience. But if you are limiting yourself, if you have put caps on where you can go, who you can be, if you've decided that you're going to live a life based off of what other people want for you, then you are doing your soul a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
do you really want to live that way?
Yeah. Easier said than done. Well, I'm not going to say easier said than done, but I see a lot of people living their life like that.
Yeah.
And what parents fail to do, and I see it all the time, they're pushing their own agendas and they want to control their child so that their child can be and operate how they want them to be. That's stemmed to their insecurities in some way, shape, or form. And you got to be careful when it comes to raising kids. Your goal is your job is not to control and to basically tell the child how to live their life. No, this child is a human being and they have every right to be who it is that they desire to be. It's your job and responsibility. And I'm not saying like I'm an experienced parent or something like that, but I'm just saying how we're going to raise our children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're going to establish the laws and principles and be the guides of like, hey, as a family, under our household, this is how we operate. Don't disrespect that, but at the same time, you have to understand this life. Life is about the choices, and the choices that you make makes you, and it's going to basically dictate how you live this life and your experience in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to utilize this as guideposts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you are your own guide and goddess of your own reality. Not saying we ain't going to discipline you.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But understand that everything that we do, that it's going to come from a place of love and not from a place of insecurity and hurt, because we didn't do the work to work through our traumas from our childhoods and past from our parents.
The way that I see it is that you type in the destination. We're simply your GPS. We're going to give you everything that you need in order to get there, but you decide where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And as your parents, we're going to support you and instill the foundation and the principles that you need in order to get where you want to go. I do not want to decide for my children what they want to do with their lives and how they want to live their lives, who they decide to marry, like whatever they decide to do. You can be whoever you want to be, but let me just make sure that I'm doing my part in guiding you to get there.
Yeah. And one thing that we're doing right now as we speak, like, number one, we made a decision to wait to have kids.
Yes.
It's going to be some years.
Hallelujah.
Years. We are in no rush to have kids.
Hallelujah.
Here is why, because we are seeing a repeated pattern in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
People are having kids way before they are in positions to be able to truly raise children to be the best of who they can be, because number one, they're not in the right position and foundation within themselves from a spiritual standpoint, healing standpoint, breaking generational curses standpoint, and also most important, one of the most main important things is financially.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal here is to, when we have kids, we want to be in a position to where we can provide our children as many amazing, beautiful experiences as possible, and have the freedom and time to spend with our children, because the world is not going to raise our kids. We are going to raise our kids. We understand that the world is going to have a huge influence, but if we are available financially and time-wise, we can have a better influential impact on their lives, while also creating experiences in their lives, because we understand that the experiences that you come across is really going to play a huge major role in who you become and who you are. And one thing we notice with our families in the Black community, they're lacking experiences because they have so many limitations in their current situation that prevents them from having those experiences. We don't want that. So we're doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing.
The universal Black societal view on having kids is flawed as hell. Because we are so quick to have sex. We're not having kids intentionally. We're having sex intentionally. And that's the problem. We don't look at having kids as we are guiding this person, this human, through their life experience. Therefore, we have to be prepared. We have to be financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally prepared. And what does that look like? You're not worrying about money. You've healed from your traumas. You're actually a whole healed person, because everything that you do not heal, you are basically telling my child, hey, take all this trauma and heal it for me. You fix it. Every trauma that you do not heal, you are giving to your child and telling them to fix it.
They have to carry that burden.
You need to get in line spiritually and figure out where you're going with that. You need to have a connection to yourself, the world, God, whatever. You have to be in a stable place in every place of your life, because your child deserves that. If you are not in a place where you are stable in an area of your life, you are giving that child that. And that's not fair.
Not fair.
They did not ask to be here. And yet you're giving them a responsibility, all because you were not disciplined enough. You were not patient enough in order to wait so you could do the work so they don't have to.
Yeah. You want to know who got it right?
Who?
White folks. And we have a lot of catching up to do, and that's a whole nother conversation about the whole white wealth thing and how everything they do is pretty much intentional. They have their own agenda and stuff like that. Like, we love everybody, but let's not be stupid here. We are far behind the ball when it comes to this, not financially, but also just how family dynamics should be ran and stuff like that. And to elaborate what she's saying, that we just want to make sure that we're not condemning you. We're not like bashing you or judging you or saying like you're down. Like, no. We're just saying like, hey, we have to operate and move differently if we want to progress forward and get the best experience out of this life and do things the right way and more productive day. Because if you look out in the black community, we are doing it so wrong, and we're not taking the time to see that we're doing it so wrong, because that wrong is such the norm. The dysfunction is a norm. And we're just saying, hello, that ain't it. That ain't it. Time to wake up, family.
And just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should.
Ooh, double back. Say that again.
Just because you can have kids right now doesn't mean that you should. Jamal and I, if we got pregnant right now, we could. We really could. We have the support. We're engaged. We got the money. Like, we have the time. We have the freedom. We could. Doesn't mean that we should.
Right.
And people get that confused because they're quick to have unsafe sex and then be like, oh, well, I mean, if I get pregnant, it's fine. I got a family to support me. I have a good job. But do you really have all of the building blocks that it takes to raise a child? Raising a child is more than money. If all you can give your kids is money, that's a curse. That is not a blessing. The goal is to prepare your kids for not just the financial hurdles that they are going to encounter, but the spiritual, emotional, and mental ones. Why bring your child into this life carrying your baggage? Yeah, I just gotta say, like, man, we black men, black people,
Melanated, beautiful kings and queens, man. Look, we all got to do a better job. We have to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we just got to stop having sex out of trauma and hurt and sex feels good. It's a great way to escape from the reality of your life and all the bullshit that you have to experience because your family didn't do the necessary work to put you in a position to where you can be able to live life in the best way possible. So we're just trying to cope out here and we attach to things that makes us feel good. And what feels better than busting a nut? You feel me?
You're
just
right.
being real. But we have to elevate our minds and consciousness and understand that this powerful tool that we have that's called sex is a superpower. Man, and I was having a conversation with my queen, like, look, my dick is off limits. Yep. Look, let me talk about that.
I'm in timeout.
It's off limits. Here is why. Because I understand that I have a power, like my sperm. I have the ability to create life. Mm-hmm. Do you know how powerful that is, black men, black guys? And when you harness that power in another way to level up your life as a man and also elevate your household and things of that nature, instead of continuously releasing that power out of ignorance, harness that power by disciplining yourself and developing a skill set and elevating your consciousness, just basically redirecting that power that you have elsewhere so that you can put yourself and your family in a better position. Because think about it, that power you're able to create life. I don't think people truly understand how powerful that is. Mm-hmm. So we have to start looking at it from a perspective of like, intentional sex is the way that we should go because you have a portal and I have the power to create life. And we're going to progress our families forward. We have to start doing it right, basically what I'm trying to say. Hold your nut, bro, because you need to harness that power and put that power elsewhere to elevate your life. Mm-hmm. Your energy, you feel me? Put that energy towards developing a skill set. Put that energy towards practicing discipline and consistency in your life. Focus, because we live in a world of distraction. And the worst thing that can happen to a black man is be in this system unfocused and distracted from his mission and his vision. Instead of me just busting all the time, I'm going to put that energy that I'll put towards busting the nut because I want to satisfy myself. Now I'm going to put that energy towards my mission and my vision as a man so I can level up not only myself, but also my fiance and my queen and our household and our family.
And it's deeper than just holding your energy as well. Do you recognize that every time you are releasing into a woman, you are saying to her, if we are committed for a lifetime through this act, I am okay with that. We don't think like that. We be having sex with people and don't be thinking, there is a possibility that I am going to be attached to this person for the rest of my life. There are a lot of men that I know out there, a lot of women that I know out there that cannot stand the father or the mother of their child.
Talk about it.
And from dating someone who has a young child, I recognize that co-parenting is not an ideal situation. It's honestly way more stress on you, your co-parent, and your child than what your child deserves. But we don't look at it like that.
We don't. Just out here having trauma sex because it feels good. We ain't thinking twice.
Yep.
Because we've been taught, look, go out here, get these women, bust their nut. You don't think about, okay, if you release in this person that you know that you don't even see yourself spending the remainder of your life with this woman or building a relationship with you, you are putting yourself in a position, in a chance to where you're introducing more trauma into this situation, into your life, that's going to hinder you in some way, shape, or form. Also hinder that child, because they're going to see and notice the issues that's between y'all dynamics. They're going to see it, and there's going to be more trauma that you got to work through, and it's going to push us back even further.
And deeper than that, the person that you're having sex with, could you see them being the parent to your child? So one issue that I saw with the guy that I was dating is that he started like to value healthy eating. So a plant-based lifestyle. So he would try to encourage his son to eat a plant-based lifestyle as well. But when his son go home to mama, her family, they don't value that. So now his son's eating meat, mac and cheese, whatever, honestly. So how can you truly co-parent in a healthy way if the two different households don't even have the same value system?
Ooh, conflict. They're just breeding conflict within that child from birth.
Confusion. And then what I also noticed is that it was like he was teaching his son things in vain.
Ooh, oh my God.
Because you come over here and we're teaching like strict discipline. We're teaching you certain values, certain structures. And then you go to your mama's house and they have a completely different discipline type system. You can do certain things over there that you can't do with dad. More confusion, especially for a 1-year-old, for a newborn child. So much confliction and confusion. So do you really want to create that within your child? I know we went on like a whole...
Yeah.
But I mean, children is life. You're bringing life into this world. So I guess it goes on hand with
for sure
the topic.
I can't remember how he segued, but that conversation is very important. Like, man, King, hold that nut, man. Like, sex is amazing. It's very important because we need to be procreating, yes, but let's procreate in the right way. Before we do so, like, bro, are you in a position to be able to raise this child?
Yeah.
If not, discipline yourself. Like, you are at war, bruh. By you living in this corporation called the United States of America, you automatically have a target on your back every single day. And this system is designed for you to fail. So we can't be operating out of ignorance. We got to start healing and doing the internal work to elevate our conscience and our mind and put ourselves in the best position to win first. And then procreate, bruh. Like, come on, we gotta wake up and do it right.
Something that I definitely wanted to hit on this podcast is the quality of life.
Okay.
Because Pops. So his grandfather passed away due to, well, quote unquote, due to stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The cancer isn't what killed him, but that's another sidebar.
What killed him?
What killed him?
You tell him.
The treatment of cancer.
There you go.
Is what killed him. And that's, if you haven't seen our past episode, this is definitely what I'm going to be referencing a lot in this topic. So go watch episode 10 on healthy eating and all of that. Okay. But the quality of life. So the last year of your grandfather's life, he was going through chemotherapy, of course. And of course, everyone knows that chemotherapy, well, I hope everybody knows that chemotherapy not only destroys your cancerous cells, it also destroys your healthy cells. So it's slowly killing you. It's quote unquote giving you more life and killing you at the same time.
Also, people don't know that this chemotherapy that they're putting in people is the same stuff that they were using as mustard gas back in the day in these world wars and shit to kill other people. But they're not going to tell you that because they want to keep you uneducated and ignorant so you can adapt to their mindset and system. But anyway, my bad.
Go watch the last episode. Go watch the last episode when you get done with this one, okay? Okay, just agreed. Awesome. But the last year of his life, he was not able to live in a quality way. And let's even back that up further, because it's not like your grandparents were the healthiest people throughout their life either. I remember your grandmother having to go to dialysis
times a week,
multiple times a week. Like, there is deeper than that. People are getting diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure and all these things as like 20 to 30-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And then they deal with that the rest of their lives, dealing with hospital visits and medication, pains and aches, like not being able to do the same things that you want to do. Like, aging is not supposed to slow you down as much as we're used to seeing. Like, there are things that we're going to be able to do at 60, 70, 80 years old that we're still doing now in our 20s. It's all about how you take care of your body. But one thing that really sticks in my spirit, and it just hits me every time I think about Pops, is when we were in the hospital, like the last month leading up to his death, and the pain that he was in. Imagine your body dying. He was bloated. He couldn't use the bathroom. He just kept saying, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be comfortable. Give me something to make me comfortable. Constant pain. I can't even imagine. I'd be about ready to lose it when I'm just having gas.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine not being able to have a bowel movement for weeks.
Yeah, it's so sad.
The way he went out was so painful.
It's messed up.
And that haunts me, because I don't want to go out that way. And the reality is that most people, a majority of people, go out due to illness and sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that a majority of people are living an uncomfortable life, all the way leading up to just getting more and more uncomfortable as time goes on, to the point where it's excruciatingly painful and you die.
Yeah. It's so sad. Yeah. You're living in death while you're living, and you're gonna die in hell in your body on the way out. It's crazy how it works, man. Like, death, hell on earth. It's a real thing. It's how you experience your life in this avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's sad. And as he was in his last days, what I kept thinking, because I look at everything from a different alternative, right, perspective. I was thinking, like, the doctor's like, yep, we got another one. Yep, there's another one in this system. Let's go ahead and get him out. Let's pump him up with this medication and rack up this medical bill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And in the other room next door to him, person experiencing the same thing. Yep, got another one. Keep putting all this medication in to make him try to feel better and make it seem like we're trying to help him. But little do they know, every time we provide you that prescription medication, there's more money in our pocket.
Didn't they give him a medication, like, without us knowing?
They gave him a medication without his permission. Yep.
And that was the medication that killed him?
Yeah, that was the blow. That was the final blow. So yeah, man, like, yeah, they in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m, they gave him some medication that nobody asked. Like, they didn't consult with him, they didn't consult with us, and this medication was supposed. They wanted to see if this medication was going to help get his kidneys, jump start and whatnot. But it was just like a trial and error type medication.
Mm.
But they knew that this was the medication that was going to be the one to take him out, because they knew it was the end for him. But this happens every single day. It's a part of this society's agenda in this pharmaceutical industry. And they're dominating off of our ignorance. So just to kind of close that out, Black people, melanated people, the question is how you truly want to live your life. And it's very important for you to understand that, like, no longer ignorance is no longer an excuse when it comes to your lifestyle. We have to do better. We're exposed to you to things that is hindering our people. We have to do things differently. Look at the results that are currently in our Black people's communities, our families' lives. If that's how you want to live, if this how you want, you have to do the opposite. There has to be a different way. What's going on here? Move in the other direction. So, yeah, and tied it into death. We want to go out swinging. Like,
right.
The way that I see death, how I want to go out is like for both of us. We see ourselves being 110 years old, and we done did everything. We done created wealth. We got hella kids, grandkids, great grandkids. We know we are at peace with the generational wealth and lineage gonna be straight. The laws and principles in our family is like we see how things are being ran, and we just gonna be in our bed or something like, all right, babe,
you ready to go?
You ready to go? All right, hold my hand.
Like Coming to America too.
Yeah.
Where he was like, all right, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
He just died.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be, for real, for real. And I guess another thing I want to get your thoughts and perspective on is, what are your thoughts on what happens after death?
I was just about to go there, baby. I love you so much.
Hey, you know, we intertwined, connected.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
So, one thing Jamal said was hell on earth, right? When you are putting your body through these illnesses and these diseases and this just uncomfort, you are essentially living in hell on earth. Imagine being in constant pain in your body. For my young people that haven't quite made it there, if you continue on these unhealthy habits that you've been having, it's coming real fast. It's coming real soon. But just imagine being in constant pain all of the time for some reason, whether your arthritis acting up or you're having to check your levels because you have diabetes or high blood pressure or whatever. That's hell on earth.
Yep.
That's hell in your body. We're not supposed to be in pain all the time. We were not sent here to be in pain all the time.
Yeah.
And my thing is that this is about to get real deep. Don't crucify me.
Tell them.
But for the people, whether you are religious, spiritual, whatever, I want to accept this as fact here. Christianity was forced on our ancestors. Period. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with Christianity. I'm not saying. Fact. Christianity was forced on our ancestors. When we came over here as slaves, that was not our religion. It was literally beat into us. This concept of being rewarded in the afterlife was very intentional because as slaves, our lives were hell. So we kept working and holding on to this concept, well, I'm going to be rewarded in the afterlife. So it's okay if my life is hell on earth right now because I'm going to be rewarded in the afterlife. It gives hope. I feel like I don't even have to go into why that's a bad thing. I hope you understand that that's a terrible thing because they're making you comfortable with bad situations. They're making you comfortable with the fact that you can't elevate, the fact that you cannot live the life that you desire, the fact that you cannot live out the dreams that you have for yourself. It makes you not want to revolt. It makes you comfortable with whatever they give you. This mentality is still in our people today. This idea that we are going to be rewarded in the afterlife so we can settle for a mediocre job. We can settle for living from paycheck to paycheck. We can settle not marrying the person of our dreams or living the life of our dreams. We can settle in life because we're going to be rewarded in the afterlife.
Yep.
Do you see how flawed that thinking is and how it's holding our people down?
Facts, for sure.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Christianity. Be a Christian. Do whatever fits you. There's nothing wrong with Christianity, in my opinion. Whatever speaks to you, as long as you have a deep spiritual connection with something higher than you, cool. I respect you and I love you all the same.
Yeah.
But I want you to accept this reality that it was forced upon us in order to make us comfortable with living in hell on earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if there is a heaven, even if there is a hell, I need everyone out there to understand you can still be in heaven right here on this earth in this lifetime.
Shit, I want my heaven now. Why am I waiting right now?
Why are you waiting to live in heaven when you can live in heaven right now? You are the creator of your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Asking it is given. So just understanding that this life can be whatever you want it to be and that you can have heaven right here. You don't have to settle for hell on earth.
Right. Whew. That's got to be a whole podcast segment of itself, because like we can go on that tangent. And there's going to be a lot of, people that hear this right now, they of course are going to have their own thoughts and opinions and whatnot. But cool, like put it in the comments. What are your thoughts? Let's talk it out. And I want to make it clear here, like, yo, there is whatever you believe, that's what you believe. We respect everybody's belief. We're not saying what you believe is right or wrong. We're coming from a respectful place. We just showcasing our thoughts and what we believe, what we deem as right and factual. But one thing, facts don't lie, because when you do your research, you start to get exposed to truths that was hidden from you intentionally. Because remember, what was the agenda of the elite white society? In order to control the people, you have to figure out a way to control their mind. Mm-hmm. And what is the two major ways that they had realized mind control was going to be the most effective was through the food and religion. Mm-hmm. Okay? Religion has nothing to do with spirituality. Let me clarify. Religion is man-made. Mm-hmm. It is a box that has been placed on people that was created by man. Spirituality is its own different sector. You can be a very in tune spiritual person outside of religion. I just want to clarify that. And not saying that this Christian walk has no value. It doesn't change lives, because there are a lot of things that's in the Bible that you can govern your life through. Mm-hmm. But let's not be stupid, y'all. There's a lot of things in the Bible that's flawed, mm-hmm. that's intentionally, left out. There's books of the Bible that's been left out intentionally, but a lot of people don't understand that. You really start to do your research. But there's a lot of parables and life lessons that you can utilize in your day-to-day life. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. You can have a Christ conscience.
Yeah, most definitely.
But when it comes to the whole religion thing, we just like, man, nah. Because our people, we wasn't on their religion till prior to slavery. We was spiritually in tune with our higher power. However, we looked at it as that. Do your research. Study ancient Kemet. Like, go back. Question to y'all. Can y'all tell me one thing about your ancestors prior to 1444? If the answer is no, then...
And here's another thing. Spirituality requires open-mindedness.
Exactly.
Religion, the reason why I can't get jiggy with religion is because it almost promotes a closed offness. Yeah. Like you said, it puts you in a box. And I'm not saying you can't have a religious foundation, mm-hmm. but I'm saying if you really want to build a deeper connection with God, then allow yourself to be more open to understanding. Mm-hmm. One thing that I've seen, and I'm not talking about all Christians, okay, let's just get this clear, but some Christians that I've run into, if I try to talk to them about our history, the truth, where Christianity actually came from, the Council of Nicaea, if I actually try to talk about those things, they're quick to be like, oh, well, just that's not true. Because that doesn't align with what they know to be truth. And if you try to uproot their truth, you're uprooting their entire identity, their entire comfort, their entire being. And people don't want to do that. So they'd rather just stay in the truth that they know and not open themselves up to taking it to a different level with God. So I'm not trying to insult anybody. And I really hope that you guys see our hearts and see that we're not insulting Christianity at all. And that we're saying, be Christian. If that's you, be Christian. But also, if you really want to take spirituality to a new level, you have to open yourselves up and do your research.
Exactly.
You have to study. You have to build that connection. I hope that everybody out there values spirituality more than you do religion. That's for everybody. I really hope so. It's not that religion is a bad thing, but it depends on how you utilize it.
Right. Yep. And I encourage everybody, give yourself the permission to question your religion. Why do it? Ask yourself, why am I adopting this religion? Have I gave myself the permission to like take the hat off for a second, just like do some research and dive deeper with it? If not, why not? Because you've been born into a society to where like you was given certain belief system on a platter without even questioning them in the first place. And remember, like, yo, the other race that captured our people, that stripped us away from everything that who we were and our identity and things of that nature, they understand that, like, yo, their whole agenda was to keep you ignorant and oppressed. You have to remember that, like, yo, that is their whole agenda. The other race, what they want is they want you to keep you in a place of being a good nigga for the rest of your life. And what good niggas do, they don't question things. They are very passive. And they don't buck at the wealth. They don't buck at the authority. They don't do. As long as you don't question, you're good. We're gonna place these things on you. We're gonna tell you how to think. We're gonna put this indoctrination, this religion onto you, so you can follow in accordance of how we want you to operate, so we can continue our agenda of promoting our wealth for it. Because we need y'all to be dumb, ignorant niggas in order to advance our agenda as white people.
That's the truth. And y'all, we said that our souls were sent here to do two things, and that's to love, well, three things: love, create, and experience. Those three things: love, create, and experience. So when we are saying these things, we are saying these from a place of love.
Yep.
That is the whole purpose of this podcast. We're talking about how to be Black and abundant. And that abundant means so many different things. Spirituality is a huge component in becoming an abundant person. And if you close yourself off in this area, you are closing off your access to all that could be. You're closing off that deep connection to that higher power. You're closing off your power as an individual. We talk about this with shrooms because people are so quick to demonize them, but they were natural and they were used for thousands of years before they were, seen as a drug. But they were used by our people to go to different levels spiritually. Whether you agree with that or not, that's on you. But we had to open ourselves up. We had to be open-minded in order to receive those downloads from what that was trying to teach us. Through that experience, and I want to do a whole episode on this eventually.
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming real soon.
Yeah.
But through that experience, we were able to heal in ways that we've never been able to heal before. We've been able to tap into powers that humans have, but that we've mentally closed ourselves off to because we've stayed in these boxes. We've been able to tap into supernatural type powers that people don't even know that they can do.
Yep.
Our belief in ourselves, our outlook on life has changed tremendously because we allowed ourselves to receive. In order to truly be abundant in this life, you have to be open to receiving abundance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you close yourself off, you're closing off your ability to receive.
Boom. Well said, Queen. And yeah, just to add on to that, Queen, like, yo, y'all listen. The goal here is to get to a place of abundance, but you cannot get to the true place of abundance, what we're encouraging you guys to get to, if you are holding on certain mental limitations that have been placed upon you to keep you from getting to that place of abundance. And we were not able to get to this way of thinking and understanding this abundant energy until we were brave enough to get to a place within ourselves to let go of certain mental programs that's been placed upon us, because we decided to shake the rug, shake that rug that you hold on so dearly and tight, which is those belief systems and programmings. And we realized that, bro, we're not dead. We're not going to die. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We were just brave enough to let those things go. And through that, we were able to awaken and reach new levels of consciousness. And then we started to truly tap into our true power and realize that, yo, we are the true gods and goddesses of our own reality.
We are.
Yeah. Are we ready to up?
I think that's the perfect place to stop.
Mm.
Because we could really talk about this all day.
Yeah, for sure.
All day. But I hope that through listening to this podcast that you really, truly understand that there is more waiting for you in this life.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is open your hands. All you got to do, like, the way that I see the way that God works, it's kind of like Amazon. Like, you just tell me what you want. Just tell God what you want. And it's going to be delivered. You may not know when. You may not get the same estimated arrival date like you do on Amazon, but it's going to be delivered. The moment that you say that you want it and you've decided within yourself, oh, I've bought this, it's on the way. Once you decide, okay, I bought this in my head, this is what I want. So I bought it. I typed it in, check out, it's on the way. You know it's on the way. You don't go outside and you don't check the mailbox every day waiting on this thing. You know it's on the way and you're trusting Amazon that it's on the way. Same.
Yep.
With everything that you want in life. As soon as you say that you want something, as soon as you click checkout, God said bet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the way. You may not know when it's going to be delivered, but you can sit back and trust God in knowing that it's going to be in your mailbox soon.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, powerful. And to add on to that, and knowing that that thing is on the way, another thing you're going to have to ask yourself, and I look at Mama Nature, my higher power, I call her Mama Nature. Shout out to Mama Nature. She's going to be like, bet, you want this? Okay. What are some things that you are willing to let go of? There are some things that you're going to have to let go of in order for me to give this thing to you. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that you are holding on to that's blocking your blessing, blocking your abundance. But the wild thing is that you don't even know that there are certain things that you're holding on to because it's your norm. Mm-hmm. That's blocking you from reaching that new level of abundance. Mm-hmm. So we're encouraging you to wake up, family. It's time to release and let go of some of these things that's been plaguing our people for so long and limiting us for so long. That's truly blocking us from getting that true blessing.
Open yourselves up to receiving these blessings.
Open up. And be okay with death.
Death is going to come.
Yeah.
But I think you'll have more peace with death if you know that you've lived an abundant life.
Mm-hmm. And death is not the end. It's a new beginning.
It is.
But that's a whole nother episode.
We don't know what that beginning looks like, but there is one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you did not know, I am Nia, and this is my king, Jamal. You can follow us at By Nia Love and at JSCO, the producer. I am a relationships and self-love life coach, so you can book sessions with me. The first consultation is free, so you can hop on a 15-minute phone call with me for the freezy. And we can talk about whether we want to start working together and what you can do to jumpstart your life of creating abundance. Also, we have merch on there. We have Black and Abundant merch, and we also have Easy Relationships only merch on my website, lovethehopedealer.com. Is there anything else that I do?
You do a hell of a lot of stuff, babe. So yeah. Yeah, in regards to me, I'm just this guy here trying to save my people's kidneys and also put some money in their pocket so they can advance their people's wealth and also health at the same time.
Yeah.
If you need those services, go to HealthWise, alka.pro. Man, you need health consultation. If you need help with transition into a plant-based lifestyle, reach out to your guy.
Some education,
coaching, all those different things. I mean, there's many more products, recipe books, and all those nature. And really, I'm just trying to help. I'm helping you to get your mind right and change your relationship with food, because this food is killing your kidneys. And when your kidneys shutting down, it's routes for you. And also, you killing your blood cells. Your cells is the reason that's giving you life today. Save the cells. Let's hydrate them by changing our live. Change our diet over to a live it. And also, financial.
Yep.
Let's get it.
Let them get your credit right.
I'm dedicated to helping you getting your credit right so that you can start to create wealth for your family. Go to jscocapital.com, and there's more resources on there as well. So go see me.
And like we said earlier, if you need to get an LLC started, if you decide to start an LLC, but you don't know where to begin, because it's more than just registering the name with the Secretary of State. It's way beyond that. There are certain things that these lenders want to see that you have in place in order to qualify for business funding. And one skill that we've been building is being knowledgeable on what you need in order to secure hundreds of thousands of dollars in business funding. So we have the blueprint for everything that you're going to need as a business, as an LLC, to secure that funding.
Talk about it.
So we have a done-for-you service where we build your LLC and give you everything that your LLC is going to need, like an address, a phone number, a website, a logo, all of those things, and then some. We have a done-for-you service, which is on jscocapital.com as well.
Come see you. Bye. Let's get it.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it for right now. Just stay tuned. Big things are coming. We elevating. We just want y'all to come with it. So let's keep going. Let's get it.
All right. We love you guys. Peace.